Hi, my name's Shawn. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. At least what's left of Twitter. That guy down there is Theo. Theo's back with us for a third consecutive week, and he's got one more after this as we continue the Team Avatar fighting tournament. Today we're doing the third place match, the consolation prize, between Team Kyoshi and Team Korra. Chris, Theo, is there anything you'd like to introduce before we start? Anything happened to you important in the past 2 minutes?
I had a really interesting realization that I was shocked that Chris decided to have Korra over Aang, and we'll table that conversation for another time. But
When we
yeah,
shift gears next week, or like we'll do next week episode, and Theo's gonna be like, yeah, team such and such wins. Anyway, let's talk about this other thing. And that's how that episode's gonna go, which honestly would be pretty funny in its own way.
it was like learning like a friend of yours thinks LeBron James is the greatest of all time. It was like that.
I'm gonna be honest. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Michael, half of Michael Jordan's cases of being GOAT are just because of his PR team is really good. He has a great
No,
PR
it's the
team.
it's the
He has he
opposite.
has a he has an amazing
It's the
PR team.
opposite.
It's like, oh, people think LeBron's about to pass up Kareem. Let's in like 2 years. Let's release The Last Dance just to make sure that the kids know who Jordan was. Oh, you see how many shoe sales Jordan does? What does that have to do with playing basketball? Nothing. But he's Jordan. You're wearing Jordans. He's the GOAT. But my
It,
point is, I'm sorry, we're recording now. We're not off on a tangent.
Yeah,
I forgot that we were
no
recording.
tapes.
oh,
I always default to, Jordan wins 1-on-1, but listen, LeBron played a really long time and didn't retire randomly in between and piss everybody off. Let's talk about the topic at hand. Chris, get us going on the bronze medal game.
All right. Let me get my head out of basketball. Because I've been thinking a lot lately about the Jordan LeBron comparison.
Me
Because
too.
some of it's
Oh,
just,
man.
anyway.
I have a lot
All
of
right.
thoughts on that. Okay, yes. Anyway, we're talking about Avatar.
Team Kyoshi versus Team Korra. Let's start off with
Yes.
some non-Avatar fights. Let's see. I'm going to save that one. So we'll go with Air. Air is very easy. Again. So it's Jinpa versus Tenzin. And in the last episode, we had Tenzin versus Aang in a really, really, really close fight.
That was my favorite conversation so far. I loved that one.
Mm-hmm.
Tenzin is squashing Jinpa.
I don't know.
Flat out.
Yeah, I don't know what else you'd even. I don't know how you make a case for Jinpa that was
Poor
legitimate.
Jinpa.
I mean, we don't know what kind of life Jinpa leads, big picture,
I
but
think
Well, that's the
for some
other thing.
reason I want to say he
he's-
gambles.
yeah, sounds like a White Lotus pastime. Jinpa. Well, you know what? This other thing. He's like what I like about Jinpa the character is he's coming from a very, very pre 100-year time period, right? This is like no one's thinking about anywhere near genociding this culture. So he is like a true monk. He's like the real thing, you know. So like that said, he's not really going to have any necessarily like any like real fighting prowess, whereas like Tenzin is like got the weight of this entire culture on his back basically, and he's kind of has a fighting mentality all the time. So yeah, I'm going to go with Tenzin.
I mean, Tenzin, and he took Aang to the final round, man. Yeah, I respect Theo made some great points when we talked about being the White Lotus, but even that, is we're making what assumptions we can for the sake of discussion, but it's not there. I gotta go Tenzin.
Yeah.
No.
Chris, the other
All right.
non-bender fight is Mako and
Well, not non-Avatar.
Sorry,
We get to
non-Avatar, pardon me.
Avatar. Very fun.
Mako and
You're good.
Rangi.
Yes, Mako and Rangi. Holy crap! This is a.
This is
It's
a
funny
tough
because these
one.
two characters are so far removed from each other. Like, they're like 400 years difference. Which, man, just fighting abilities and stuff came a long way from then. The great equalizer in this fight is lightning bending. Man,
It's
If
man, it's almost the opposite of an equalizer, right? Like if all else
sorry, yeah,
prevailed,
well,
right? Like
I think if lightning bending's not included in this, which it is included in this fight, Rangi would win this fight fairly easily. I mean, not
Really?
fairly easily, but like I think she'll win it soundly. Like it'll be a
Yeah.
good fight, but it's almost like winning. Gosh, so many basketball references. Like 6 games. Like it's
Yeah.
not going to 7, and the 6th game was a blowout.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
that's a great reference. I have no.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
allow
the
it.
it's the Celtics beating the Lakers in 2008.
Oh my gosh! Shut.
He's
I
like, you
hated
dropped
that
that Korra crap.
series.
He's like, you dropped that Korra crap on me. I'm fired back.
I hated that series so much. Oh my! And not the series. The series was a great series actually, but Game 4 was the worst one because
That's
Lakers were up like 20 points in the second quarter, and they just let it go. Anyway,
Yeah.
People ate that series up, like television audiences for that
Oh
series,
yeah.
because you had the classic. You finally had the classic return. People ate
but
that series up.
2 years later though, Game 7, Lakers Celtics doesn't get any better than that. Came down to like the last couple of minutes of the game.
Also a great series.
That was the best. That was the best championship feeling I had
That was a
of
great
any of my
series as
teams
well.
winning.
Those excellent series. Yeah. That was really good.
But returning to your point, no, Chris, I agree. I bet that I would be willing to bet that Rangi would be a better tactician if you take the lightning bending away. But I'm saying that, but you don't take the lightning bending away.
You know,
Rangi
yeah.
has never
She-
had to
she's-
had that on before. You know, she never had to
Yeah.
defend that.
She's seen Kyoshi face lightning bending. It's one thing to see another person face it and you face it yourself. Lightning moves so fast. And Kyoshi has not Kyoshi. Rangi has no idea about redirection, about anything. And one of the things that saved Kyoshi, the Kyoshi was wearing chainmail for some I don't know the science behind it, but for some reason it was helping her in that fight. Rangi doesn't wear chainmail that same way. She's more so just like how Zuko and Azula dress. So she wouldn't have that going for her. So with Mako using lightning and being one of the best lightning benders, to me this fight, because Rangi doesn't even know in this case, Rangi probably wouldn't even know he knows lightning bending. This fight would go to Mako.
So it's interesting because the Rangi comes from like a really disciplined way of doing everything, and she's very by the book, and she has a really strong way of sticking by that. And I think she kind of dismantles her opponents very tactically, right? How did I say that? Did I say the word right? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So, but I think if there's one thing that's like gonna totally like throw her off her game to the point where she might start to panic, it would be seeing lightning for the first time. And I don't know if she would recover fast enough in a fight to figure out what to do. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the second Mako throws out the lightning. I think she's gonna be like, there's some white fire, I guess.
They have not invented the tactful defense against lightning just yet.
Yeah.
The thing is, if she has one training session with Iroh, boom, she got it. She wins.
Like capable, okay.
like Zuko learned that in just like, I don't know, 40 minutes or so. Rangi's gonna learn it. She's gonna drill it down. She's gonna be able to redirect your lightning right back at you so easily, but she doesn't have that.
Oh. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Mako.
Chris, what avatar is gonna pick a fight first?
All right, so right now we're at 1-1,
2-0.
right? Yes. All right, so the more interesting Avatar fight. We'll just go with Korra.
Decidedly more interesting than the other.
Yeah. All right, so next we'll go with Korra versus Karima. This is simple. Korra wins.
This is it's just a bad matchup for Team Kyoshi.
Bad matchup.
This is a bad matchup. Yeah, Korra all the way.
Insert basketball reference of some type. This isn't working for him.
This is the San Antonio Spurs versus LeBron James in that finals when he was with the Cavs
Yeah.
that first time.
It
Oh,
It's
the
like
'07.
he doesn't have the
yeah,
pieces around him just yet, you know? It's just
yeah.
Kyoshi out there. And even Kyoshi in the next list, okay, I'll pick Korra and we can have some discussion. But like even the Kyoshi fight is interesting.
Kyoshi fight. Okay, so Core's team is
Korra,
up right
okay.
now, 2-1.
3-0.
Yeah, that's wait. Oh, it's 3-0.
Yeah, it's over, man. I'm sorry.
Holy crap, it's over. It's
Sorry.
over, folks.
That's why I was
So yeah,
curious. We
so
had that talk, and I
Cora.
thought you were gonna pick the more
I'm
interesting one
sorry,
first to level it
Sean.
out, and you're just like, nah,
I'm
Mm.
sorry.
let's stick a fork in him.
I thought from a fight perspective, the Kyoshi versus Bolin is more interesting than Korra
So
versus
you were saving it
Garima.
for
But
last, yeah.
I
yeah,
see.
but in my
That makes sense.
head, it was one of yeah. So wait, so Mako beat.
Tenzin over Jinpa, Mako over Rangi, Korra over
Yeah, you're
Karima.
right.
Yeah.
Man, dang it. I'm sorry. I did this the wrong way. Yeah, Korra's team wins 3-0. But
We
we
gotta
got to
have
do
the
it anyway.
discussion anyway,
Yeah,
because this is the good one.
yeah,
This is the one that we care about, I think.
yeah. Dang
Right.
it. I ruined it. It's okay. People knew Korra was going to win
It's
Yeah.
versus
fine. It's a
Karima.
third.
Yeah.
It's the bronze medal game in the
Yeah.
2012 Olympics or
True.
whatever that is
Right.
basketball.
Right.
Kyoshi versus Bolin. This is real interesting because
That's a fun one.
Kyoshi is a really strong bender, and she deals in like huge chunks, big giant moves. And Bolin kind of isn't like that, but Bolin has lava bending, and
It
that
there's
I
a
don't.
there's a part of me
Yeah,
that wants to say that Kyoshi could just like for the sake of argument that Kyoshi could just like crunch the stadium in two and just smash Bo into pieces in there.
That's a very
But
good point because she's capable of that. She
but the
really is.
but the lava bending throws in maybe not the same effect as like lightning bending might have on Rangi, but I mean it feels similar.
man, I'm trying to think of feats that Kyoshi has done, not in the Avatar state
It's
with
all just pure
earthbending.
power, so I feel like it's a question of it can Bolin somehow escape just
Yeah,
being
I
overpowered.
yeah, I do think just from anecdotes and stuff, and from things I can't remember right now, Kyoshi is just naturally gifted to be a very strong bender. She just doesn't have that finesse. Um, and Bolin does have that finesse. But can Kyoshi handle being burnt by lava? And I don't see Kyoshi dodging lava left and right. She's wearing heavy armor. She's not used to fighting people like that. So
Agility's
I think
not
she's
her
gonna.
thing.
It's not. I think she's gonna get burnt up. Man, do we have a sweep on our hand?
I'm
I
I'm
a
pitching
lot.
Bolin. I don't
Here's
I don't like going against Kyoshi because I think Kyoshi
I
is
know
has
that sounds
become like my
weird.
second favorite avatar. But man, in hand to hand combat, I think I'm going
here's the
Bolin.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Kyoshi is Batman. What's Batman gonna do? He is going to walk on fire. I think. I honestly think because of Kyoshi's mental state at all times, I kind of think she really would just be like, lava, what is this? And she'll just walk barefoot on it and punch him in the face.
Should just get over it.
There, you bring up a good point that when I think about their mental fortitude,
Mhm.
Olin's a lot softer than Kyoshi.
Way softer. And I think Kyoshi would kind of win the fight there first, right? There's gonna be some psyching out that she's gonna do, and just that alone is gonna make Bolin might buckle at the knees or ask for her autograph, one of the two. And
Both good
Or just
choices.
be, I can also see Bolin being like, "Oh my gosh, look at this giant of a beautiful woman,"
right,
and just be like, "Will you marry me?" And
yep,
Kyoshi being
exactly.
like, "Shut."
Yeah, she like puts him in a volcano.
Yeah.
No, I think that she. I'm actually going to go with Kyoshi on this one. I think Kyoshi would win uh, by sheer strength alone and by the mental side of it. She just would psych him out. Um, I think it's a little weird if Bolin were to win because then what does that mean in the Toph discussion? Because we just kind of had Toph winning. not the backtrack, but like it'd be weird to be like,
But Toph
man,
has metal
For
bending.
me, yeah, Toph has metal
true, true,
bending. And for
true,
me,
true.
that was a huge
That's true.
favor
True.
in her point.
And metal bending is so snappy. And that's what
Yeah.
does
Yeah,
it for
it's
me.
like also you can like compact them, and like bowling can't undo any of that. Like
So
Right.
I think
Right.
that's, but I'm not disputing your, listen, and I wouldn't do this
I
if
think
there was anything important on the line, but like just to avoid the sweep and to avoid voting against Kyoshi, like I'm happy to just change my vote to Kyoshi, man. I love Kyoshi.
I'm going with Kyoshi. I mean, like even when she was just learning her powers, she jetted up like a huge thing out of the bottom of a sea, right? It
That's
was a
another
big
one of
old
those scenes that it just up here, it looks
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. It's a great
I
scene.
so this is one of those things where like I try to be very objective in a lot of stuff. Right? Logic tells me that Bolin would beat Kyoshi, but my heart tells me I can't envision Bolin beating Kyoshi. I can only envision Kyoshi fighting through lava, losing, I don't know, part of an arm, third degree burns, and still pulling out the win.
Just like last minute, like he thinks it's
Mhm.
over because that's what Bolin does, and then
Yeah,
she just crushes him
yeah.
against the ceiling or some shit like that.
Like a freaking, like just with a headbutt,
Yeah.
like something like that.
Something outrageous.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wouldn't do this if there was anything else on the line, but given the circumstances, I'm going to follow my heart and I'm just going to say Kyoshi because I want it to happen. I want a sweep. Nobody wants a sweep.
I'm going with Kyoshi.
All right.
I'm good with Kyoshi because that's what I can just imagine Kyoshi willing herself to victory.
If there
I
if
can imagine.
if there was an avatar that was going to will itself to victory, it'd either be Katara or Kyoshi, right? Like one of those. Not
Korra,
Katara,
Kyoshi.
Korra or
Yeah,
Kyoshi.
I
Pardon
got you.
me.
Yeah.
That's the second time I did that today. So listen, the bronze medal game, what wasn't the best game, and now we're only like 17 minutes in. The other ones we've
Wow.
been 30 to 40 minutes, just like we planned, man. We were doing great, and then this one's 17 minutes in. So listen, if there was ever a time to have an argument about avatars, y'all can knock yourself out, or we can move on. It's funny, Theo just disappeared. Theo, you back, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, cool. He's like, I'm not having that discussion. Um, Chris, hey, is it worth just to spend at least a few more minutes on the topic? Is it worth? And I don't think it is.
Sure.
Discussing what would have
A
happened
battle.
in a tiebreaker. Yeah, like a battle royale. There's too many weak links on Kyoshi's
Yeah.
team. Is the problem?
Yeah. Poor Kyoshi's team.
Kyoshi's
Yeah.
best Avatar teammate is the other Earthbender, right? Like
Yeah.
Isn't he
Like
the
also.
he's the guy that can do
the assassin, the old yeah.
the stopping of his E basically, right? Or
Her
whatever it
best
was.
teammate can't fight, and that
Loud.
that kills her.
Yeah, if I
Lauga,
was
that's his name, Lauga.
grabbing yeah, Lauga, if I was grabbing the best benders from Kyoshi's team, then I would probably include well, maybe I'll include Kelsong. But like yeah, Lauga. If you want to count Yoon,
Oof.
but they're also Earthbenders, so like I couldn't bring them in this thing. No, it might be a little stretch. I mean, Yoon is he's part of his own team avatar, and Kyoshi is part of that until he finds out that Kyoshi is the avatar.
Spirit
Um,
enhanced Yoon is the most unique
yeah.
thing in the franchise thus far, in my opinion.
I mean, even non-spirit enhanced Yoon, non-Father Glowworm Yoon is freaking formidable.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, but
I
yeah.
just
Then it comes to airbending, Kelsong, waterbending. She doesn't come across any. Oh, but I forgot her name. The waterbender healer from the north. She's freaking cold.
hey,
Like,
what's
sure,
the
she
guy
doesn't
with
fight, but she knows how to.
what's the guy who puts the poison in his eyeballs? That guy's cool.
Anook. I think that's Anook.
Anook
That's her brother.
and the other
Yeah,
waterbender's brother, yeah.
yeah.
But even then, it's still tough
Uh,
to see. It's tough to see any four Kyoshi teammates winning against the four Team Korra. I
Yeah.
think.
uh, interesting enough, like the Avatar feats and the Avatar state between the two, the only thing comparable to Korra's blocking Kuvira's spirit cannon and freaking ripping a hole in space time to create a new portal, and just the like that spirit cannon is the like I think it's who did it was a YouTube channel who always does verse matches, Death Battle, like
Yeah, that
calculated like
battle's personal.
how much force that is, and it's pretty much like all the world's nuclear bombs put together. The only thing that was like better than that was Kyoshi creating her own island. Like she has to move tectonic plates
Yep.
to move the island miles away. Those two things are probably the two greatest Avatar feats in the series. And so their Avatar state would be, to me, Korra would win because math. Like just the same thing with Aang. When it comes to Avatar state. But yeah, I don't know. I would still give Team Korra the edge if there was a all-out battle royale.
Poor Kyoshi, just small sample sizes. I'll go back to that argument.
Kyoshi has
Yeah.
really bad. She has really bad help. Like her help is just not there.
Kyoshi is early LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, Rangi is there. Rangi to me is like a top 5 firebender, but it's just the times. Like she doesn't know anything about. Well, she knows a little bit about lightning bender, but she never faced lightning bender. She has no tactics to go against it. So it's kind of a matchup issue. But she's just as like. I will put.
Like just like strength, like bending strength, innate ability, it feels like it's a fair match in that regard. But when you start lumping into other variables, man,
I agree.
If you ever get bored, and I mean, you probably all can think of some off the top of your head, but just go look back through some of like LeBron's like early teammates, his 05, 06, 07 teammates. Just look at some of those names. Ask yourself.
Ilgauskas.
Booby Gibson.
Booby Gibson. That was a big Delonte West. I think he's out of prison, maybe.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think he is.
There's a lot of fun names in there. What was the Eric Snow that they thought like hey
Eric Snow.
We brought in this guy. He's like he's gonna put it over he's gonna take some of the pressure off as a shooter and a facilitator. I don't know if that was a finals year or not, but go scroll through some of those names. There's some great ones. And Anderson Varejao.
Varejao, yes.
Big Z. Well, yeah. Well, listen, they can't all be winners, and we're going to run into one of these eventually. But, Theo, thanks for being here yet again. You got one more in you. Hopefully we're all still awake here. Because next week is the whole enchilada, the whole tamale, whatever all those other things that guy in the Rookie of the Year movie says. When we do the first place matchup, which is between, I just totally lost my train of thought, which is between Team Aang and Team Kuruk. So come back next week. I'll put all of Theo's information and all of our information in the description down below. Like, comment, subscribe, review, whatever level of interaction you're willing to share with us. We appreciate all of it. It'd be great. And we'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah.
Adios. LeBron is the GOAT. I'm not even a LeBron fan.
No, I think we're all anti-LeBron in general.
Thing is, when I look at like the numbers, I would be